Good evening and welcome to Straight Talk with Eugene Chang. Last week, Dr. Ko Wing-man from the CPPCC was on the show, sharing with us his insights from the 2025 Beijing 2 sessions. This week, we are joined by Hong Kong Deputy for the National People's Congress NPC, Mr. Andrew Yao, who will share his thoughts on what the latest policy directions mean for Hong Kong's tech and higher education landscape. Mr. Yao is the chairman of the Hong Kong-Shanghai Alliance Holdings Limited and has served as a Hong Kong deputy to the 12th, 13th and 14th National People's Congress. He holds key roles in major organizations, including China COSCO Shipping Corporation. Mr. Yao is deeply involved in fostering business and youth development between Hong Kong and the mainland. And he is currently the council chairman of the Hong Kong Nanyang University. Welcome, Andrew, to the show.
Thank you, Eugene. Thank you for having me.
Right. You, with your young age, you have been already this is your third term as the NPC. And what's your overall experience like attending this year's session as compared to the past?
NPC stands for National People's Congress. There are 36 of us representing Hong Kong. And you're right, I'm on my third term. So let's just talk about briefly what NPC does. Okay, NPC is the highest, we call authority according to the Constitution of People's Republic of China. What we do in the annual meeting is a couple of things. Okay, we will inspect and vet the Premier's report, and then the Reform and Development Commission will come up with a report, as well as the Finance Bureau. So we have to approve that. NPC also make law, especially update the Constitution. This year, if I look at the legislative schedule, there are around 30 to 40 laws to be made or to be updated. So quite a heavy workload also. Most important of all, I think NPC is the one who make and update our basic law of Hong Kong also.
Right, when you mention about 2 sessions, does it mean that one for the NPC, one for the CPPCC?
Correct. CPPCC stands for China People's Political Consultative Commission. So the name is consultative. So what actually happened is, according to my understanding, is the NPC session is where the Premier and everyone come in to do the report. And the CPPCC were invited to attend the NPC sessions.
Right. So this is your third term, and what will be your takeaways from the 2 sessions this time?
The policy of our country actually is quite transparent. I don't think it varies greatly from year to year. What I usually look for is the 14th 5-year plan. And right now we are on the 5th year on that plan. Next year will be the 15th 5-year plan. So if we look at those 2 plans, you will see a one main theme that I think will apply to Hong Kong is the continuous technological innovation for our industry, what we call the higher value added industry. That is a very clear direction. China wants to make clothing and shoes also, but more importantly, we would like to make airplane, chip manufacturing, life science industry. So the whole country is geared towards what we call higher value-added growth.
Right. I mean, since you have been a deputy to the NPC representing Hong Kong's interests as well,
right.
How do you see this year's sort of, I mean, it's already the 5th year of the 14th 5-year plan and the 15th coming up soon. How does it impact Hong Kong with all these policies?
Okay. I was born and grew up in Hong Kong. I think for the last 27 years, or even before that, for the last 177 years, Hong Kong is about helping multinational, like Fortune 500 companies, establishing either a manufacturing base in mainland for export purpose, or to help the multinational to develop the market in China. Right, that's very, very simple. But I think we need a mentality change for Hong Kong businessmen. For the next 5, 10 years onwards, I think what we need to do is to help the national champion in China, especially the technology company going overseas. For example, if I were 20 years younger, I would go to Abu Dhabi and Qatar and be a distributor for the electric vehicle companies for the mainland. I think for a couple sectors like EV car, solar panel, etc., we have national champion, but also universal national champion already. And I see that for the next couple of five years plan, there'll be at least 20 new technology industry. Could be life sciences, DNA sequencing, pharmaceutical manufacturing. Those will be coming up. Now, Hong Kong people have to, first of all, understand what is the technology behind, the business environment in mainland, and then how do we link ourselves. For example, we can help Xiaomi, the car company, to go overseas and be responsible, let's say, for the international arbitration or intellectual property registration.
Right.
They couldn't be dealing with 180 countries at the same time. But I think Hong Kong people, with the fluency of the basic law, for the common law, we have the capacity to do that.
Very, Andrew, as you were just mentioning what you just said, I was just thinking about the report actually delivered by Premier Li Qiang. Not only he reaffirmed the one country, two systems guiding principle and pledged to support the GBA capacity for innovation, he also specifically, first time, mentioning that deepening international exchanges and cooperation, very similar to what you've just said.
Right.
But this will never be included. It must be the first time. So what will be the implication of this? I mean, have we not done enough, or we should be doing even more? How do you interpret this sentence?
Like the example I gave you just now, we were about importing. Now we have to export our expertise together with the national champion or the technology company from mainland to go overseas. That is where Hong Kong, as a super connector, I think we can do that.
Right. I mean, super connector has been this term has been mentioned in the last couple of governments in Hong Kong, and I think Hong Kong does play a role to sort of bring in international connection and actually go global for our mainland companies. So have we not done it already? I mean, why should this be mentioned again? Does it imply that we haven't done enough, or we have to do even more to make it more effective?
Well, let's look at the GDP component of Hong Kong. I think import and export sector is one big industry. Financial service sector is another big industry. Now, we always compare ourselves with Singapore. I think there is an element of truth. Singapore has a much more diverse industrial base. Like it or not, they have an oil and gas industry, they have a chip manufacturing industry, and they have leading pharmaceutical and life science industry. I think Hong Kong should invest our future, securing, of course, the financial service, but having the expertise in a certain kind of high value-added manufacturing, like what I mentioned before. Let me give you an example. You mentioned that I have the honor to be on the board of Costco Shipping.
Right.
Now, Costco Shipping is a shipping company, but Costco has already gone through its transformation. It is now a shipping technology company. What does that mean is, how do we go from point A to point B using big data and climate information and the customer demand to plot the shortest route that can save 10% of the fuel, for example. Number two, how to develop dual energy, dual gasoline and green methanol shipping in this manufacturing basis. So this is what I'm trying to say, from a purely shipping to a shipping technology company. Like in Hong Kong companies, we should be thinking about that also.
Right. So Andrew, since you mentioned about this work that we have to sort of, I'm sure we're going to do more, one area that I want to ask you, I'm sure the viewers will like me to ask you that, I mean, while the world has recognized Hong Kong is definitely a part of China through what has happened, but if that being the case, we can't escape from the geopolitical tensions. And actually, I believe we are sanctioned by US in some of the areas. So how can we get around this to be able to go global?
I always say that nobody can do damage to us except ourselves.
Right.
Yes, there's a lot of geopolitical things going on in this world. But what I usually do is I kind of ignore it and look at myself. Right. Is my company doing enough to strengthen myself in terms of value addedness? Am I doing enough in lean manufacturing to make it cost efficient? And am I attracting talent so that the company become better? So this is what I think people in Hong Kong, we should be thinking. Develop our own strength, a new strength that might not be the same strength that we had before. But one thing that's very important is we have the backup of our country.
Right. When you mentioned that, I mean, Hong Kong, we have always done well by developing our strength and being a good legal system, the integrity of Hong Kong people. And now the government, I mean, we are now being asked or being suggested or advised to integrating to the overall national development and following the major national strategies. Will that take away the Hong Kong uniqueness in your view?
I don't think so. So far, all the Chinese leaders that I have spoken to, publicly and privately, still value Hong Kong unique one country, two system, especially our legal system, our internationalization of renminbi, our Hong Kong currency, our PAC. These are the uniqueness of Hong Kong. I don't think we need another mainland cities.
Right.
We have to be unique. And I believe that the national policy is to make sure that we have the unique way of living forward.
Andrew, let's take a short break now, and viewers, do come back, and we will be right back. Welcome back. With us is Hong Kong Deputy to the NPC, Mr. Andrew Yao, and he has been sharing with us his insights on Hong Kong's new mission from the 2025 Beijing 2 sessions. So, Andrew, I want to just retouch on the area that you have tried to explain to the viewers that basically, I think a lot of people want to know that how can Hong Kong strike a balance between, while deepening integration with the mainland development and the policies, while preserving our unique East and mixed identity, ensuring that we are an attractive and globally competitive hub, because too many of our friends are saying that we're losing the color of what Hong Kong used to be. How would you respond to that?
I would look at it slightly differently. You know, we all born and grew up in Hong Kong. I think Hong Kong is a very Western city. I think still Hong Kong maintain a high integrity in terms of legal system and financial service. That's okay, no problem. But I think we need to go and understand what is the new business opportunity, what is the industrial uniqueness and capacity. I always meet with entrepreneurs. I always meet with scientists, university professors. They all have good ideas for new products, but how do they do it in a new prototype? And how do they set up a company? How do they manufacture it efficiently and then export it? All these are opportunities of Hong Kong. You probably heard of what we call the shopping online for platform that has been developing recently. I think Hong Kong had taken advantage of that. Hong Kong airport cargo business has been doing very well because of that. So how do we Hong Kong people attach? This is one of the industry that has come up recently. There are many other.
Right. And also in the government's work report, they always mention this new quality productive forces.
Right.
Right. How does Hong Kong strength, can we apply that to assist our biomanufacturing, AI, or even 6G communications to the mainland industries?
I think we Hong Kong people, first of all, have to understand technology. And one thing about technology is the uniqueness is we have to tolerate failure. We have to take a longer term view. We're not going to get a return in 12 to 24 months. We have to keep investing. We have our uniqueness. We have 8 publicly funded universities that have very good scientists and research. Right. But how do we convert that research into what the technology company needs? Across the border in Shenzhen, there are many very good technology companies. Hong Kong could be a link, linking Hong Kong professor, converting their research into actual products so that the technology company would then need it. But again, the key point is understanding what the technology company in mainland needs. That is what Hong Kong people should be looking into.
Right, Andrew. The Financial Secretary Paul Chan was on a show a few weeks ago with his budget, and he announced a 10 billion innovation and technology industry guidance fund in the recent budget.
Yes.
Where do you think being someone you're interested in tech, and where shall we be roll out that money to so that it's going to be even more effective for the Hong Kong's industries?
I'm very, very glad and happy to hear about the $10 billion fund. And the uniqueness of that fund also is being administered by our Technology and Innovation Bureau.
Right.
Okay, which is different from the Hong Kong IC Investment Corporation. Because Hong Kong government has already lined out 4 unique technology sector, being fintech, life science, AI, and advanced manufacturing, etc. So we have to stick with our core competency in terms of research and in research capability. What I think we have to do is to create an ecosystem for this technical innovation. I think there are 3 different important factors that have to be in this ecosystem. Number 1, we have to have a technology park that understands the latest transfer technology and have the connection to reach out to the world and the mainland where these new companies are. Number 2, we need to have a fund. We need to have the fund to help this company so that they can go through their first and second phase. And then hopefully eventually they can go overseas, also take advantage of Hong Kong financial market. Mm-hmm. And number 3, I think we have to have the technology company coming in with the talent. I think the Hong Kong talent import scheme, I think is a very, very successful thing that the government has done. We have right now 100,000 either highly paid or highly educated people. I know a lot of them have not been coming to Hong Kong to work yet, but they are all looking at the opportunity. And these people are great entrepreneurs. A lot of these people are from Shanghai and Beijing who have an understanding what the technology company needs. Mm-hmm. If we give them an environment, an ecosystem in Hong Kong, they will excel because they know, as you say, what is the Eastern company, and they come to Hong Kong and we have to wait to know what the Western company wants.
Well, Andrew, Secretary Chris said would be very happy to hear that. You said that it's a very good initiative. But are we doing enough to attract them to come even earlier? I mean, faster. I mean, I'm sure they've been saying that a lot of people come to Hong Kong, but they haven't really started working here yet. Correct. What can we do to get them to get started so that we know exactly what they want?
Eugene, I agree with you wholeheartedly. We should get them earlier. I think we should get them at the university undergrad stage.
Right.
Just as what Singapore government has been targeting, the gifted and talent since they are high school. Right now, we have 55,000 non-local Hong Kong students in our undergraduate in the 8 university. Mm-hmm. 55,000. We have, what is 55,000? 55,000 people actually contribute to 10 billion Hong Kong dollar in terms of tuition to us.
Right.
There are 290,000 mainland students in the United States. There are 150,000 mainland students in England, Canada, and Australia. Easily 500,000. We are only getting 10% of that. I think Hong Kong University should switch our mentality. We are not only a university for Hong Kong students, we should be a university for the nation and also international people who want to come in and receive the higher education. I think if we can easily double that to 100,000, we have a very group of people who have spent 4 years understanding and living in Hong Kong. And our goal is hopefully to convert them into our citizens also.
Right, Andrew, we'll go back to the education bit in the last final part. But one area I want to just ask your opinion that DeepSeek's recent breakthrough has caused a widespread debate around the world.
Correct.
What are your thoughts on Hong Kong's role on AI development? I know that we're trying to do that as well. Do we have any competitiveness in Hong Kong in the area? What do you think?
When we talk about AI, we have been focusing on computing power. NVIDIA. We have to buy the best and the fastest computer chips, right? I think what DeepSeek have told us is that if we think and contribute in the algorithm, the way to compute rather than computer power, I think this is what have proven that to have a lower cost implication for artificial intelligence. I know Hong Kong schools, some of them have very good mathematics classes. We need to develop a homegrown mathematician. Tsinghua University, Beida, Jiao Tong, and Fudan are all doing that, and we could be a part of it.
Right. Just now, you mentioned about education. It's an area that I would definitely have to ask you because you're the chairman of the Lingnan University Council. Our chief executive in this 2024 policy address has said that we will try to establish our city as an international tertiary education hub. So this is exactly what you said. I mean, we're only having like 10% of the overseas students from the mainland, and that means a lot of dollars for the city. So how can we do more to attract more students to come, at the same time act as a bridge for them to the outside world, as we said by the Premier in the beginning of the work report?
Hong Kong has a very natural attractiveness for people to come here to study higher education university. You know, all the universities are being taught in English. Coming to Hong Kong is like going to overseas for a lot of mainland parents.
Right.
I think we have no problem attracting mainland students here. And the ones who come here for undergraduate are usually some of the best students. I think what we have to think about is how do we attract more truly international students, especially One Belt, One Road students. I met with a lot of students from Southeast Asia and also South Asia. They're brilliant students.
Right.
But these students also need scholarship. I think as an educational hub, we have to have an industry to collect tuition for people who can afford it, but at the same time give a scholarship to some of the bright students internationally and attract them.
Well, Andrew, as you mentioned, I just remember that our electrical member, Priscilla Leung, organized a 2-day Global University Presidents and Leaders Summit. Exactly that's what we should be doing more to attract more international academics to come to Hong Kong as well as students.
And the second thing I think we have to do is to think about the size of our total student population.
Okay.
Like I said, the 8 universities have 60,000 undergrads.
Right.
And probably another 45,000 graduate students. A total population of 110,000, 120,000. Is that a good number? Is that a right number? Do we have a way to expand that?
Yeah.
If we look at higher education as an industry, which Hong Kong people like to, money talks, right?
Right.
So it could be a very, very high reward, high value added industry also.
Right. So thank you very much, Andrew, for sharing your ideas. I definitely will invite you soon to talk about more of the education perspectives. The directives from the 2 sessions have definitely set a bold vision for the future and reinforces the critical role Hong Kong has to play, not just in supporting the national development, but also in bridging China and the world. Have a good evening and see you next time.